to lesson 4. We're going to simplify radicands in this lesson, and these are not going to be perfect squares, so watch how we solve. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to completely list the factor pairs for that number inside the square root symbol, that radicand. Then I'm going to identify any perfect squares, and we're going to look for perfect squares, and we're going to circle the factor pairs with the largest perfect square. You're going to see why in the example we want that one. Then we're going to break the radical up into 2 radicals. It's still going to be a multiplication sentence, but we want the perfect square as first number, and then the other one that's not perfect on the right. And then we're going to simplify the expression. So before I do this, remember we want to be able to recognize square numbers to do this skill. You cannot just use your calculator to just simplify these numbers. So again, I'm just listing out some square numbers from 1 squared to 15 squared. And this is what you want to recognize. If you see any of these numbers in your factors list, you know that you can simplify that part of the problem. Okay, so this is what you're looking for. Again, commit to memory so you can recognize it. You can always go back to this. All right, so we're going to start with the first one, 45. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to just list the factor pairs of 45. 1 times 45 is not going to be helpful. I'll go to the next one. 5 times 9. Yep, 9 is a square number. So are there any other factor pairs of 45? No. So watch what we're going to do here. First things first, I'm going to list, here's square root 45. Here's 9 times 5, and I'm going to circle the 9. Now I'm going to split this up. So this is the same as square root 9 times square root 5. Why do I want to do that? Well, because this can now be simplified. Square root 9 I know is 3. And I cannot simplify square root 5. So I just put it here, square root of 5. And that's my final answer. 3 square root of 5 is simplified. Now, if you try to do this on your calculator, you're going to get a number like 6 point something. And that is not what we are working on today. We're not using our calculator to find a tool. Instead, we are using what we know about factors to simplify to get to this form. This is the number we want to get to. Let's look at the square root of 32. So again, I'm going to tell you that 1 times 32 is not helpful at all for finding factors. And we'll do the next one. 2 times 16. Ooh, 16 is a square number. And let's see, what else do we have? We have 4 times 8. And 4 is a square number. So which one do you want to choose? You want to choose the bigger one. And I'm going to show you why at the end of this. So I want to choose the bigger one here because it's going to help me simplify faster. So here's square root 32 is equal to, I'm going to put the 16 first, 16 times 2. This is going to split up to square root 16 times square root 2. And I know that this will simplify to perfect number 4, so 4 square root 2. That's my final answer. Now, let's go what if for a second. Like, what if you had chosen the other one? Because it happens sometimes. You're not going to be wrong. You're just going to have to do more steps to get to the most simple answer. So let's say you chose the other one and you had square root 4 times 8. So here's 4 square root 8, and you would end up with 2 square root 8. But 8 has more factors in it that are squares. So let's say you recognize that you could do 4 again, 4 times 2. So you will get 4 times 2. And you end up with 2 times square root of 4 is 2 times square root 2. So you still end up with 4 square root 2. All this extra work when you didn't need to. So let's make sure we always pick the biggest square number so that you're more efficient with your answer. Again, this one was not incorrect, but I see a lot of kids that stop here at 2. That wasn't a great square. They stop at 2 square root 8, And it's more simple, but it's not completely simplified. So unfortunately, you will not get full credit for that. All right, so that's it for today's lesson, Math Marbles. Again, you're going to do those same steps. Use the check for understanding and make sure you're demonstrating all those steps. And if you're having trouble, put that into your checkpoint. I explained this is the step I'm having trouble with, so you can get some feedback and more practice there. I will see you in lesson 5. Be well.